Either one.
Cat porn.
I don't know. What are you looking at, dude?
I'm reading the questions.
Fuck your questions. Welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben. We got Mr. Tim here.
What's up, guys?
We got Mr. Matt Hopkins here to answer your shooting questions.
Hi.
There it is.
There it is. You gonna throw in some like exit out the back, some kind of shit?
I think that's pretty well established at this point.
Yeah, you're right. You fixed it. We're still working on the popper calibration. That'll be done, I think, by the end of the year. Right, Hopkins?
Practical Pistol Show. Fixing your shooting problems one problem at a
I
time.
don't know
Imagine
if there's a fix for popper calibration.
You what?
Do they even have the fix for popper calibration?
Well, I've given them at least 3. They'll figure it out.
Ben's mapped it out for him pretty hard.
I have, actually. All right, first question, and I like this one. I think this is an interesting one. Actually, both the questions we have today are pretty interesting. But anyway, is it a good idea to take classes from a variety of instructors, or is it better to follow the instruction of just one? Is possibly getting contradictory information something that would help or hurt your progress? Hopkins.
I think you should take info from everybody and then decide what is best for you.
All right, so my gut tells me the same thing, but let's say that you're stupid or lazy. So like what I would put to you is, hypothetically, you're too stupid to figure out what is best for you, or you're too lazy to figure out what is best for you. Like you just would. Yeah. You're not interested in all that. You just tell me what to do. What do you think about that?
I mean, that would be that. If you're that way, it probably lends itself to having one teacher. You know, that way. I mean, you can go as far as that teacher can teach you, right?
I guess. I mean, yes.
I mean, that's pretty close. I don't see somebody that pays for training that's going to be thinking that way, though. Do you?
I see all kinds.
All right.
No, nothing else, Hopkins?
No, I don't know. I think you should be open to everything.
All right. Mr. Tim, I imagine you think the same way as Hopkins.
Yes and no. I think it's a good idea to seek instruction from from different sources, but it's what you do with the instruction or what you do with the information that was given to you, and how you process that information can be taken to light whether or not it's too much. Maybe you're being overinformed, so you're kind of led astray on your journey.
What about contradictory information?
Contradictory information? I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing to accept some contradictory information, as long as you yourself do the work to figure out, I don't know, maybe what you like or what you dislike, what works for you versus what doesn't work for you. I think we can all three agree that there's, more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak, how to play this game. And some skills or some techniques work for some but don't work for others. So I think seeing and understanding that there's going to be some contradictory information out there is I think you have to be willing to accept it with an open mind, and maybe take some of that information into your practice with an open mind and try things to see what works for you and what doesn't.
Yes. Okay, so my take on this, I agree that instruction from a variety of people is, in most cases, going to be the way to do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with picking one method or one thing, or like one guy you like and doing what that dude says. That's not a bad thing. But my advice, if anyone rolls up to me like, hey, or like some idiot's putting on this class, like, should I go take this? My answer is going to be yes. pretty much doesn't matter who it is. I'll be like, yeah, go do it, whatever. Have fun. See what you pick up. I know some instructors. Have you guys encountered anybody who says, like, an instructor guy will say, no, you should pick one guy and stick with that guy?
I haven't really heard that.
I haven't either.
I have, and I don't like it because it seems sort of weird for an instructor to be saying that. I think it's good for people to kind of go around to different guys, and a lot of it is just personality driven, right?
Definitely.
So let's say if somebody takes a class with me and it's like, yeah, the class was fine, but I think Ben's a dickhead, and they'd probably like a Tim Herron class better. Like, no, honestly, like, so personality counts for a lot. Other guys are like, they don't want you to be nice. They're like, no, just fucking give it to me straight, doc. I'd be like, your shooting has cancer. There's not a lot we can do for it. No, I won't. No, I wouldn't say that. That'd be mean. All right. So anyway, my take on it is it's good to go around and take classes from different guys. And the reason I think this is, you guys know, like, where you're going to get contradictory information will be like, hey, one guy says this technique is the way to do it, and another guy says this technique's the way to do it, right?
Yeah.
All right. In my opinion, it almost doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's like, I don't think it matters which technique you go with, because no matter what, you're going to have an instructor who can shoot really well using that technique, demonstrate using that technique really well, and if you train in that technique a lot, you're going to get really fast. Even though, in theory, maybe one technique is like 5% better than the other or something. Not much. They're very minute differences.
Right.
Right? So I think that minor differences of opinion on technique, or like what drill is the best, or whatever it is, I don't think it matters a whole lot. There might be some drill that I know is the best drill for this thing, and I can prove it. I could say I could mathematically prove that this is the best drill. If you don't like that drill, and there's some other drill that you like it because it's fun, and you practice it a lot and you get really good, well, then that's not a bad thing, right? Is it? Like, what's going to make the difference is training and putting the time in and improving your skill level. That's going to matter the most,
Definitely.
not potentially contradictory stuff. So I say, if you like doing classes, go do classes with whoever the fuck, and have fun. That's what I say. Hopkins, you're quiet today, man.
Right. I don't know what else we have to add to that, though.
Well, yeah, I want you to argue against what I just said, Matt.
That's what I said at first, though.
I know, but take a position that you don't believe in and say, no, Ben, you're an idiot. You got to pick one guy, or pick one school, whatever, one training manual, and use that one, because otherwise you'll get distracted.
As devil's advocate, yes, I would say, yeah. if we're talking about the one person that is like has a hard time paying attention or focusing on one set of instructions, that guy.
No, okay. You guys have done classes enough together,
Yes.
right? You know the guy who asks a lot of questions.
Yes.
Sometimes there's a guy that asks a lot of questions and you can answer them, but like the questions are sort of slightly off topic or like a little bit not related to what's going on.
Yes.
Okay. That's a personality type where a lot of times what you need to do is like, dude, just shut the fuck up and do what I'm telling you to do. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So that person does not benefit from an opportunity to ask additional questions, because what they need to do is shut the fuck up and do what you're telling them to do, which is practice the way that you're telling them to practice. And asking more questions for clarification is not going to help them. They're just spinning their wheels. Oftentimes these are the type of people that post on internet forums a lot.
Or they're asking questions. They're posing questions with not really wanting the answer that they want. Not really wanting your answer. They want the answer they want you to give them to validate what they were already thinking or how they already felt about the question they asked. And I hate that.
I know you hate that, Tim. I like to validate. I use that as an opportunity to validate what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, limited minor is very viable. It's a good idea.
It is if you're
It's
shooting
much
against all minor shooters.
Right. No, it'll be good because you'll have to be more accurate. So in the long run, you're going to be better. I don't know. I'll come up with some shit. No, but I'm not against people asking questions, but I'm like that specific personality type where it's like it's just sort of they talk more than they fucking practice.
Yes.
Yes, that person's not helped.
Are these
by...
Enos mods?
What did you say?
These Brian Enos mods?
Oh shit! I don't even know who is about over there anymore.
I haven't been on that forum in a while, so
Well, I heard it's gotten a lot more interesting lately.
I'm sure it hasn't.
Oh my God.
All right. Good talk, guys. Let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
It's written a little bit complicated, but I'm gonna condense this down. So it's a guy who shoots steel challenge. Okay. Last year at I know this guy. He trains
It's 10%.
constantly.
It's 10%, just to let you know.
This guy works hard. All right. Last year, at club matches, he would shoot the steel challenge in 90 seconds. At major matches, 98 on average. This year, club matches, 83 seconds, big improvement. Major matches, 96, tiny improvement, right? Versus the major match time of last year. So, I think his his question is, I may need to just throw my guns in the ocean and take up competitive offshore fishing again, or go see a sports psychologist to get my head fixed. What do you all think? And most importantly, what should I do about it? Okay?
Throw his guns in the ocean.
Really?
Oh, no. Depends on what he's got. If he's got something interesting, I might be interested in buying it.
His shit's not that interesting.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Throw it in the ocean.
Well, what do you think about this? So there's a big gap between his club match and major match scores. And the interesting thing about Steel Challenge is it's the same thing every time. So
Yeah, you can benchmark it really easily.
yeah, you really need to benchmark. But I think this would not be uncommon in USPSA for there to be a big gap between club match and major match, right?
Agreed.
How well you perform. Okay. And the gap's actually getting bigger the more he's training. Now his overall scores are improving a lot in both major matches and club matches, but the gap is bigger. So what do you think about that, Tim?
It's a performance fear.
He fears performance?
Oh, well, he's still
like a hot naked lady in front of him. He's just afraid.
Well, yeah, I think so. A little bit.
Really?
Well,
that was crazy talk.
At local matches, and I'm sure the guy's probably, obviously, with the kind of improvements that he's talking about, 90 seconds, and then he's improved down to, he's cut 7 seconds off his total time just in a year's time. So obviously he's putting in the practice as well. But at his local matches, I'm sure that the pressure isn't. He's not putting that type of pressure on himself. And we've had this talk even about my performance before. Just not allowing himself to put himself on the same type of pressure that he needs to at local matches versus going to a major, and then he's like, well, man, I slayed balls at my local match, but now I'm here with all these guys that I've spent a lot of money to get here, and I'm here and I want to shoot well, so he tends to kind of, I don't know, to kind of choke up a little bit, and to play the safe game versus kind of shooting to his
doing
level
what
of potential.
he knows how to do. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Hopkins, what's your take on this?
It's a mind block at the major matches. He obviously wants himself to do good, so he's thinking a lot about it.
All right. Why is the gap getting bigger?
Why is it getting bigger? That's a good question.
All right. I'll tell you guys my theory on this, and you tell me what you think about this, Hopkins. All right. So what I tell people is people ask a lot about pressure, right?
Yeah.
Right. I get asked about it quite frequently. What I tell people is the more, like, as you move up in the sport, the pressure gets worse.
Yes.
Maybe you get better at handling it, but you're going to feel more pressure.
Yeah.
Right? So you come into the sport, you get over the initial, like, when you start shooting, it doesn't take long to figure out that nobody gives a fuck about your scores.
Mhm.
Nobody cares. Right? Except for you. You care, but nobody else does. And then once you start to do well, people start to watch you more. And then as you start, I mean, the better you get, the more eyes are on you, right? So the more pressure there is.
Right.
I'm talking sense so far, right, Tim?
Absolutely.
Okay. So aside from getting over, once you understand that nobody cares how well you do, getting over that, you're going to start to feel more pressure the more you get into the sport. And I think it's more eyes on you, and you carry more expectations into the bigger matches because the more time, money, energy, blood, sweat, tear, whatever, the more whatever you put in, the more you have expectations and the more you want to do well, and you're gonna put more pressure on yourself to do well. That's my theory. Okay, so when you see a guy working at it, obviously over the course of years, his technical skills are improving, obviously, because he's doing better and better at these sort of low stakes events. But at the higher stakes events, he's not manifesting a lot of his potential, right?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So, Hopkins, would that explain the gap growing?
Yeah, it would.
And what I propose further is that this sort of pattern is normal. I don't think this person's an anomaly. I think this is normal.
I think a lot of this can be explained like the first match you beat after you get your GM card, right? Mink said it pretty clear to me at one point was like, it's the worst match you're ever going to shoot because you have this so-called pressure on you now that you're a GM, you should perform like one, you know? And I noticed that I've seen it happen to a lot of different people, and it sometimes actually takes a long time for them to get out of it, you know? Like years at some point. Or some people just give up because they can't ever get out of it, you know? Get a GM card or get whatever card they've been going for.
There's been a lot of guys that I can think of in recent years that have gotten a GM card and then very quickly either hop divisions or quit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So would you guys
self-imposed pressure?
Would you guys agree that this pattern is normal? That the gap between your potential and what you actually do grows?
Absolutely.
We agree?
I do.
Or no?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Not in now Hopkins in absolute terms your scores improve over time.
Yeah, it did.
The gap gets bigger.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it fucking does.
I think it does until you learn to be able to deal with that performance anxiety at bigger matches.
All right, so that brings us to the second part of this, Tim. What's the solution? That's the question, right?
For me,
we've identified the problem, but what's the solution?
For me, it was what you two guys talked to me about last year after I had a dismal performance at Single Stack Nationals last year.
I said a lot of crazy shit to you last year.
Dude, I was ready to take a fucking header off the roof of my house because I shot so poorly at that match. But then, I mean, we had that big kind of come to Jesus talk with me about it, and a lot of it was because I wasn't shooting local matches to the best performance potential based on pressure because I wasn't applying pressure to myself at locals. So, and I think this is kind of a similar issue with this guy.
Okay, so you think the solution for him, and I like this, by the way, is every match is, the Steel Challenge. The Steel Challenge.
Absolutely. It's the Nationals, No,
that's a different thing for them.
Okay, well, yeah, but you're absolutely right. It's the Steel Challenge. Yes,
every match. Because I shoot every match like it's Nationals, really.
I think that's the only way to improve on this, honestly. Unless you shoot a bunch of Nationals, and then you'll get that experience, but that's going to be expensive.
Well, then it takes a long time to shoot a bunch of Nationals.
Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time, and I think I've only shot like 8 nationals ever. That's right, isn't it?
You don't consider IPSC nationals nationals, though.
No, fuck no. Come on.
I'm just making it clear so the viewers know that you've only shot 8.
If I'd shot IDPA nationals 15 times and USPSA nationals once, I would have shot nationals once.
No, but you can consider the world shoots in that too, right? So that's probably 10 or 11.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yes, we'll include world shoots. World shoots are meaningful and important.
I was
Unlike
going to say, those are just as meaningful and important as USPSA
an
nationals.
IDPA nationals to me counts like an area match. This, I don't know why I'm shitting on IDPA right now. It's just... Hey, did you guys see what I did?
Yeah, your dumb banner.
Yes.
That wasn't dumb. That was brilliant. Did you
Yes.
like that?
Did that guy...
I liked it.
Was he there at the match?
I got an email about that from some fucking guy. I'm going to pull this up. This is so funny to me. All right, so for people wondering what we're talking about, which is probably most people, I sponsored my state IDPA match, which I didn't attend and haven't attended. Are you pulling it up?
Yeah.
Hopkins?
Yeah.
Well, people can't, if they're on
Well,
the
they
audio
can.
rip, it's not going to be very helpful.
Well, here.
Are you going to screen share or something?
Yeah, if I can find it.
All right, so Hopkins is pulling it up. But what I did was I sponsored my state IDPA match, and then I made a banner that I thought would be appropriate.
There it is.
If you're on the YouTube, you can see it there. I made a banner. Well, I didn't make a banner. Tim made a banner, but it's it's a bensteger.com banner, a picture of me, and it said 2012 Wisconsin Section Limited 10 Champion. That was it.
Totally legit award, by the way, right?
I did earn the award, so I mean, yes, it was a title that I had, and I said that, and I sent this banner to my state IDPA match, and they actually fucking put it up, which I couldn't believe it. And oh my, did I delete it? I think I deleted the email.
So what did you say in the email?
Okay, a guy emailed me, is like, Ben, I have a question for Practical Pistol Show. Why did you sponsor a match for a division you hate? Which is like a weird question, because it's like, I didn't sponsor the match for a limited 10. I didn't do that. I sponsored a match I don't care much for, trumpeting a title for a division I hate, to be honest. That's what I did. But the reason I did this, it just worked out that when I switched into limited 10 that one time to crush a limited 10 hider that I felt needed crushing, that a little birdie told me he'd be at that match. So I thought it would be good to sponsor the match, so they put the banner up, so they sent the banner. So because I'm a petty fucker is why I did this.
Petty fucker.
I'm immature. I'm bored, kind of generally.
I'm a petty fucker that walks around with a razor blade and salt.
Yeah, this is why I did this, because I thought it would be funny, and wouldn't you know it, it kind of was. What do you think about that, Tim?
I like it.
Do you? I don't do like just spiteful things that often, so it felt kind of good.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. What, Hopkins? Why'd you say my banner's dumb, man?
No. Here's my response.
To what? To my
I said
banner?
it is funny.
It is funny.
That's what you sent me. You sent me the picture, and I'm like, it's funny.
Yeah, I sent you the picture. It was amazing. I couldn't believe they put it up. Like, if I got that banner, if I got something weird like that, I'd kind of
they
smell
have to
red.
put it up.
Do they, though? What am I going to say if they don't put it up?
I would be mad if they didn't put it up.
You'd be mad?
Yeah.
Oh man.
He sent a banner to him, dude. They gotta put it up.
I also sponsored the match.
And
I did
sponsored the
send them
match,
actual stuff.
especially.
Well, that's great. Did a good job derailing this conversation.
Yeah, we're completely done with the combo, right?
Yeah, we are. This podcast is fucking over. Anyway, if anybody has a shooting question they want the answer to, including why I do some of the weird shit that I do,
Send an email.
send your question, bensteger@gmail.com. We'll answer it. It'll be amazing.
Facebook message him.
Oh God, no, don't do that. It's really hard to catalog. It's annoying.